What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the basement. It's another segment episode, and well, I know I promised you a round table this week, but did not get as much stuff done in the basement as I wanted to, so there was no room to throw them other hammerheads down here and, you know, set up the whole basement for filming and everything. So, segments. But as promised, I want to get to some of the stuff that I didn't get to last week, starting with Image Comics' No Place Like Home. This is basically the story, it's like a modern day take on Dorothy. This girl, Dee Dee, arrives back home in Kansas from New York or LA, wherever the fuck she was. Either way, big, you know, small town girl, big city, comes back to the small town after a tornado kills her parents. But as we see in the beginning pages, it wasn't the tornado that killed them, it was something else. And they're like looking up from the storm cellar like, oh no, it's you, but we don't see who it is. But all of a sudden, like, all of her parents' friends start dying, getting killed left and right, and we all think it's this town crazy guy, but obviously the way it's going to pan out is the crazy guy is the only one who knows what the fuck he's talking about. And all of the rest of the townspeople, Dee Dee's parents' friends, have a secret to keep, and they're dying to keep it, apparently. You know what? It was an interesting story. It seems like it could, you know, unfold to be really cool as a mini-series, but it shows no signs of being a mini-series. I was reading in the back, and the author is, you know, just being thankful for taking a chance on two no-name dudes and picking up a book that you didn't really know anything about or whatever. But he goes on to say that he's got plenty of ideas, and the first story arc is just going to set stuff up, and we're not going to see Oz itself for a while, and, you know, wait till you see Oz, it's totally different than what you're expecting, and this and that. And, you know, it is one thing to take a chance on a new book, but it's another thing to continue taking that chance. Like, I stopped with Kirby Genesis about 4 or 5 issues in when I realized that the whole fucking story was just going to branch out everywhere. And I knew that was going to be the case. I knew it, but maybe I didn't think that it was going to happen so soon. Like, Kirby Genesis, for me, coming from somebody who's reading Marvel and DC and some Image stuff and Dynamite and everything else, like, I just wasn't mentally prepared for a whole other universe, excuse me, a 60s style Marvel universe where everything touches everything else, not in a perverted way, but like everything is interconnected and the continuity is just real tight. Like, I just wasn't mentally prepared and financially prepared for a book for a set of books that were going to be, you know, 5 and 6 and 7 and 10 different titles. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't with that. This one, I'm going to probably stick around for the first story arc, and hopefully it's interesting enough to keep me coming back. I'm not making any promises, but so far No Place Like Home was, it was good enough to get me started. So to Angelo Torroto and Richard Jordan, nicely done. I hope to stick with it. I hope it doesn't drag on. You know, that's just me being honest. Since doing this show, if it's given me one thing, besides a bunch of new friends to talk to, it's definitely got me buying books that I wouldn't normally buy. It's got me taking a chance on a lot of no-name stuff. It's got me taking a chance on third-party publishers and stuff like that. And, you know, to mixed reviews. But, like I said, I'm going to stick around, and I encourage you guys to check out the first issue and drop us a line, let us know what you think. You know the drill, questions@PetesBasement.com, Facebook.com/PetesBasement, and follow us on Twitter. I'm usually tweeting every time I finish a book. I'll just give you my quick opinion on it. Hopefully no spoilers are involved. Another thing from Image Comics last week I picked up was Ted McKeever's Mondo issue 1. Now, this dude is like this fucking geeky little guy working at a chicken factory, and somehow he falls into the chicken processing unit and comes out with superpowers and one gimpy little arm. He was a scrawny little dude, think Melvin before he became the Toxic Avenger, and then he just turns into the Toxic Chicken Avenger with a gimpy arm. This book, I know, was supposed to be funny. It stopped just short of boring. I could not get into it. I found the paneling, the black and white. The artwork was good. It felt like it was trying to be like a little Chew-like, but I couldn't follow it, man. I don't know, I was disappointed. If you liked Mondo, if you read it, you know, and you want to disagree with me, by all means, write me, tell me I'm an asshole. Doesn't matter to me. I like hearing dissenting opinions. Lets me know that I'm not talking to a bunch of robots. And as promised for the longest time, and I apologize for having lost this book under numerous piles of new shit and garbage, and I emphasize the word garbage because I wish I would have found this book earlier. Dragon Rider, The New Prophecy, in this magazine format here, comes to us from Jorge Castilla. Basically, I'm reading this book, and it's, Jorge's all by himself doing this. He's doing the art, he's doing the writing. This book was published by Phoenix Fire Studios, which is a good buddy of our friend Jarhead. You know Jarhead. He used to do Jarhead's Comic News, which that website on Facebook recently changed its name to The Fortress of Geekitude. He's busy doing that site with his buddy Kaya Jennings. So check them out. Make sure you become a fan of them. Honestly, I get a lot of my movie stuff and information from Jar, so the kid's up on his fucking game. I'm telling you right now. Jar, thank you for keeping me and everybody else informed. But Dragon Rider is available at, I want to get this right, PhoenixFireENT.com for $6.99. Honestly, this book, not just because my buddy sent it to me, but this is so worth your money. When I'm reading through this, it felt like I was reading one of my old Super Nintendo RPGs. Alright? Follow me on this. The artwork, first of all, is phenomenal. The amount of time it takes this guy, Castilla, to do this work, he's putting his heart and soul into it. Basically, you've got this evil king who is just looking to take control of all the lands around him, so he goes and sends his youngest daughter as like an emissary to the Elven nation to try and work out a peace. And meanwhile, he's backstabbing not only the elves, but his daughter as well, and just going to fight the elves while they're distracted in peace talks. So the book actually jumps from, I was really surprised it did this. I was expecting a more long, drawn-out battle with the elves, but that's only about 3 pages long. And then it ends with the king returning to his kingdom as a conquering hero. Meanwhile, he's a bastard. So, honestly, like, I read that as kind of an intro to the video game right before I'm getting ready to start the game. And it was so much fun. Check out some of the scans of the artwork popping up over here. It felt like I was reading a Final Fantasy. And now the king comes back and he's, looking to conquer the fire dragons, and all of a sudden his daughter is betrothed to this other dude, but his daughter all of a sudden, holy shit, she's pregnant with some half-breed elf bastard son that the king is just gonna have a fucking stroke over, literally. There's so much going on. This book slates to be 45 issues long. It is a finite series. Issue 2 should be out in a few months. But by all means, guys, check this out. Dragon Rider, The New Prophecy, Book 2, Oracle Unbound will be out in a few months. I didn't actually get to the shop this week. So basically what I was doing was just going around and like a desperate crackhead looking for a little fucking rock on the ground. I'm scrounging in the house for stuff that I didn't read. One of the gems I came across was Dragon Rider, and I was really happy to find that. Another thing that I was really thrilled to find was The Sixth Gun, which was sent to me by a good buddy of mine, and I finally got around to reading it. This is like Clint Eastwood meets Lord of the Rings. Alright? Basically, you've got this outlaw, he's now an outlaw, this Drake Sinclair, excuse me, Ramon, who used to work for this evil general, and the general is out looking for these 6 mystical guns that, when brought together, obviously just doomed the world to annihilation. So, the 6th gun, which is the most powerful and titular object, no, not real tits, but, titular, like titular, the gun falls into the hands of this girl, Rebecca, who inherited it from her dead father. And basically, now the general's after her, and Drake has to stop him, his former boss, and save the girl. There's zombie Confederate warriors, there's magic, this book was so entertaining, and I looked on Amazon and there's 2 more graphic novels. This whole graphic novel does a great job of just reading itself through. It solves its own story problems and you know, all this stuff. And meanwhile, it sets up stuff for the next graphic novel. So don't think like I read this and, you know, I have to absolutely get the second graphic novel. I can practically guarantee you'll want to, but this is a fine self-contained story, so I would definitely recommend you go and check out The Sixth Gun. The artwork is phenomenal. This guy, Brian Hurt, he does it. While I was reading it, I was reminded of, The Goon. Like, just the style of art, the facial expressions, not so much the coloring. It was very bright, very brilliant coloring for, you know, what struck me as, you know, it's a Civil War story. So I expected a little bit more muted colors, but it was still very good. And Colin Bunn does a great job. I'm definitely going to pick up the other two books on Amazon because they're like $10. Speaking of Amazon, I managed to get this. Bill Majestic's Humpty Dumpty. I haven't read this yet, but it's from IDW. The artwork is astounding. The artwork made me look, it looks like radical style artwork. It's so well done. It's a self-contained one-shot story, little graphic novel. It'll probably run you about $7. It just looks fucking, just look at the cover, man. Look at that shit. How creepy is that? I can't wait to read this book. So look forward to that review coming real soon, probably next week, because I'm not going to get to the shop until next Wednesday, so I'm going to have 2 whole weeks of bullshit to buy. And there was a lot I was looking forward to this week, too, man. I wanted Joe Hill's The Cape concluded with issue 4. There was Darkness 100, even though I haven't been reading Darkness since about issue 18. But I'm still going to pick it up just for the whole commemorative sake. You know, I bought Witchblade 150. Might as well fucking get Darkness 100. And maybe I'll go and turn them over to Jess, who was the one who, you remember Jess. Hot girl comes on the show every now and then, punches me in the face. She was the one who got me into Witchblade and, you know, subsequently Darkness in the first place, fucking 110 years ago in high school. So yeah, I'll probably wind up giving them to her for her birthday. Speaking of Jess also really turned me on to Sam Kieth, and while I was rummaging for comic food over the course of this week, I came across this. I have no idea where I got this from, but Sam Kieth and Alex Pardee Ojo, which is all drawn and half written by Sam Kieth. This is issue 1 of 5, so I'm obviously going to have to go on eBay or something and get the rest of the issues. It's about this girl who lives with her grandfather, along with her bratty older sister. Their mother's dead. Obviously died probably from complications with the little girl's birth, just from what I'm gathering. And the little girl's under the impression that everything around her drops dead. She's had 3 pets that she's managed to kill within the first 10 pages. And then all of a sudden she befriends this little monster that lives under the bed. And it's a little baby monster that happens to be separated from its larger, more grotesque mother monster. And that was kind of where it left off, was the little girl met the mother and was like, and then she runs away and carrying the little one with her. So I'm going to go on eBay and check out Ojo, but this book was so much fun. Just, you know, reading the one issue, I'm like, hey, what the fuck is this? Hey, Sam Kieth, you know, I'm always going to give it a try. I love his artwork. He's a sick, twisted bastard. Highly, highly recommended. I don't know shit about it yet, but I'm already recommending it just on the first issue. It's got to be about 2 or 3 years old. I can tell you that right now, just from the pile of books that it was in. So go and check it out. Or if you do know about it already, don't spoil nothing for me, but please hit us up and say, hey, Pete, you fucking slept on Ojo? That was an awesome story. Whatever. Another one that I seem to have slept on from fantasy-prone books was United Free Worlds, issue 2. This book, the artwork is phenomenal. Like, I think this must have been in like the Lost Comic Convention pile. And they got a lot of advertising for Devil's Due Publishing, which you know used to print G.I. Joe and everything before IDW took it over. I don't know if they're still in business now, but I'm going to do my best to see how many books of United Free Worlds are actually out there. Just going by the artwork alone, it looks like it's bad, but when you really sit and look at it, like, because the colors are so vibrant in it, that it almost turns off your eye to it. But when you really look at the pencil work, it's phenomenal. And there's aliens, and there's some great outer space splash pages and stuff. Just really amazing Photoshop colors on the outer space scenes. Like, check this one out here. Like, just phenomenal stuff. So this was it was like a cleaning spree for me, and I really enjoyed the books that I found for the most part. There were 2 or 3 that I'm not even bothering to talk about, but you know, these were some of the highlights of the stuff that I found. And finally, I just want to bring to light an actual bookie book that I found. Fucking Christ almighty, Alfredo sauce for dinner, man. From cracked.com, You Might Be a Zombie, and Other Bad News. You guys know I love cracked.com. I'm always on there reading the stupid articles, and every now and then I post a couple to the Facebook if they pertain to comic books. But if you ever really want to laugh your ass off, like if you're on the train, you know, you see people like reading their Kindles and, you know, reading the Wall Street Journal or whatever the fuck it is they're reading. If you just want to be a weirdo and literally laugh out loud on the train, on the bus, going to work, and people are staring at you and you don't give a fuck, please check out anything from cracked.com. They got several books out by some of their editors and writers. The other one I told you about was Everything is Going to Kill Everybody, the shockingly real ways that the real world wants you dead. I laughed my balls off reading that one, and I just found You Might Be a Zombie, so I'm going to start reading that. Right after I'm done with Edgar Rice Burroughs, A Princess of Mars. Of course, I had to go on eBay and get myself the Frank Frazetta cover. I figure since I'm thoroughly interested in the John Carter movie, I've been reading Warriors of Mars, Warlord of Mars, whatever else. I recently went back and picked up anything else that I missed from Deja Thoris. Now they got these other fucking one-shot. I don't know if it's a one-shot. They got Deja Thoris and the 8 Men coming out. There's Warriors of Mars. There's a lot of fucking Warlord of Mars shit coming out. And this is what I did not want to get involved in, because I don't want to be fucking spending $20 a month, $20 a week, whatever, on like the same title of book. There's just a lot of shit, and it's like, you know, they're trying to rush all of Burroughs' stories out. I don't know, it's not even like, it's Marvel doing it, you know? Marvel's got their own shit-ass John Carter story, that the artwork Blue Goats. You know, this is all Dynamite that's doing it, and they're rushing a lot of stuff, and I hope it doesn't backfire on them. It backfired. Like they got strike 1 with me, and then I thought better of it, and I went back and I bought the stuff that I missed after I dropped it. Now I'm back to it. They're on strike 2. This is already dissuading me from continuing, seeing how many fucking new issues are coming out. But I'm going to try to stick with it, and I will keep you guys posted. Like I said, I am into the movie, even though the movie is being governed by Disney, and we're not getting any gold nipple pasties on Deja Thoris or anything. But hopefully it turns out good, and I'll let you guys know what I thought of Princess of Mars in a future issue. It takes me a while to read regular books. It takes me a while to read comic books. I read slow. Fuck you, don't judge me. So I'm going to finish off this cool rum that Steve brought me from Dominican Republic, and I'm going to turn you over to the rest of the fellas and see what they got to say. Have a good one.
It's a slow week, especially for me, since out of the 3 of us, I'm the one who picks up the least amount. There's only a couple books that I got. Justice League 16? 16. Not yet. This ends the initial origin story. They defeat Darkseid. Darkseid goes back to his world. And that's that. Good news is, Batman puts his mask back on. I'm not exactly sure why he decided at that point to do it. But his mask is off when he's trying to help Superman, and all of a sudden it's back on again. I don't know. Who knows what makes these people do these things? But this is it. Basically, they're like, everybody's like, yeah, you guys did it. Great team, great superhero team. I'm like, we're not a team, so, you know, don't get too excited. And then the president and civilians are like, yeah, great team. And then something else happens. He's like, well, you know what? Team or no team, you guys have to work again because we have another problem coming up. So go. And that's basically it. And then this ends, it looks like this ends Jim Lee's run, at least for now. And then Carlos Deanda is going to take over with a story coming up involving Pandora. Looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that. So we'll see what comes of it. But overall, I thought the first 6 issues were good. It was, bumps here and there. Fantastic Four, no, FF15. There's no need for it. Don't need to get it. It's just a side little thing to the main Fantastic Four story. Not necessary in any way, shape, or form. Don't get it. Amazing Spider-Man 680. Spidey has to go into space to help to rescue J. Jonah Jameson, who's an astronaut. They lose connection with him from Horizon Labs. He needs help getting up there somehow, so he goes to Baxter Building, asks Johnny Storm for help, so they both go up there. One thing that's interesting is there's now an issue between Dr. Modell, Max Modell, who's heads up the Horizon Labs, and J. Jonah Jameson, because J. Jonah Jameson's like, I've come to the conclusion that you guys are a problem and dangerous. So there's going to be issues coming up with that. And then, very exciting, spoiler alert. Well, we all know that coming up is a Sinister Six story. But it's starting here. So I'm very excited. I love the Sinister Six. All the story, we've talked about this before, but every Sinister Six story that there's been, I've enjoyed. I don't think there's anything that I thought was bad. So I'm very excited that they're making a comeback. I'm hoping it's really good. Dialogue was very good between Spidey and the Human Torch. Regular, normal quips between the two of them. It was good. And then the Cape, number 4 came out. I just realized today that Joe Hill wasn't writing this. I know he created the character or the story, and he wrote that initial story. But the actual 4-issue series, I thought he was writing, but he wasn't. Still good, but Jason Ciaramella wrote it. I thought it was good overall. The ending was very movie-ish. Kind of like, the bad guy's holding the good guy at the edge of a cliff, and then the good guy is able to grab him and flip him over, and then the bad guy, that kind of a dramatic, climactic thing. So that's kind of how it ended here. I wanted more. I kind of wanted more of the characters and the background and everything. It kind of ends abruptly, and I wanted more of it. So I don't know if they're gonna do more. Maybe but see, the only problem is that as far as the story goes, when he's an adult and he has the cape, it's only a short amount of time that passes. I can't think they would even be able to do more. And spoiler alert, the main character, Eric, dies. So, I don't know. And from what it seems like, the cape is destroyed. So, I don't think they could possibly do more. And even if they do a background story, it would just be when he's a kid, and So, but I was just disappointed because I wanted more of it. But overall, I thought it was a good story. I think that's it. See you next time.
Another week, another set of segments. Now, I could insert any kind of joke like me in a fist fight with Steve over him being a Met fan or something. But the truth is, we try to put out a product every week, and we do. We have 4 years now and counting. But sometimes it's just easier to do segments and maintain our social lives. So that's Ramon keeping it real. Don't expect too much of it. Here goes. First book, King Conan, The Phoenix on the Sword, 204. It's a mini, and it's just King Conan retelling a story of how they try to usurp him once he became king of Aquilonia and whatnot. It's good. It's great. I'm a Conan fan. I'm biased. But if you want to check out a good Conan, hey, here you go. 4 books. Bada bing, bada boom. Next we have Justice League 6. How does Ramon feel about Justice League 6? He doesn't care about it. I think Darkseid was too ambitious of a person to have on, and just to get rid of him in pretty much 2 pages worth, they got rid of him. All that amping up and him and all this bullshit, it's like he wasn't even there. I mean, they should have done this with so many other people. So many other villains that could have done the first appearance of. I mean, the first story or two. I think they... I don't know. I mean, Batman had the Joker and he got skinned. His face got skinned off. I mean, you know what? That's awesome. This is just, you know... Spoiler, they hijacked the mother boxes and, you know, send them away after poking his eyes out. Really? Really? But also something that's caught my attention was Pandora story in the back, and the whole insinuation that it's her. She's purposefully restarted this DC universes, whatever, and there's going to be more telling of that, which is interesting because I would like to know more about it. Also, I would like to see the Spectre. They mentioned him, and that's interesting. I would like to see the Spectre reimagined, if you will. Sick and tired of seeing him just running around in a cloak and his underwear. But also, that pretty much gives DC a backdoor exit out of this whole new DC universe. Because Pandora did it, so Pandora could undo it. So let's see what happens. I'm curious. But overall, the first arc of Justice League was I mean, okay. In some ways, it was great. Aquaman shined, Wonder Woman shined, and God knows they freaking deserved it. Those two are shit on like nobody's business. Cyborg, he's kind of weird. I never saw him as a leader of the Justice League. I saw him as a mentor of the Teen Titans, and that's as far as it goes. But that's how DC treated him. Not to suddenly thrust him into the spotlight like this. Okay, simple as that. I don't like Green Lantern. I refuse to speak about him. And the Flash is just, he's the Flash. He's the Flash, you know. Stop him from time traveling, and I'll gladly accept him 100% instead of the 95%. Let's move on. Spaceman from Vertigo, number 4 of 9. Okay, this is a good book. It really is. Vertigo, they do good shit. They do. I mean, iZombie, Unwritten, my all-time favorite, which is Why the Last Man. Vertigo does good stuff. The smartest thing DC ever did, period, was buying Vertigo. It was just brilliant. But, you know, they're weird. They do weird shit. And in this one, it's spacemen that are ape-ish, or humanoid-ish. Apes that are humanoid, or more humanoid than they already are. Yeah, I'm gonna get fan mail from Christians out there. Post-apocalyptic future, kind of, sorta. The media controls the future. There's weird dialogue, and quite frankly, I see that happening because I see people in the street conversating and say OMG. Really? It's too strenuous to say oh my god? So, besides the language thing, it's a great story. Weird, but some shit just happens to be weird, and I accept that. Unwritten, 34.5. Vertigo again. Extremely weird. And one can easily say, oh, it's a take on Harry Potter and a ripoff. There's some aspects of it. There's a lot. Okay, more than just some, but there's aspects of a lot of literature in this. And I would suggest the trades. Very few Vertigo books are ever jump-on friendly. Very few. Very few. So definitely pick up these trades. The series is ending soon. Vertigo books don't last long. They just don't. I mean, name 5. Go ahead, name 5. Yeah, I told you. Anyways, I recommend it. Don't jump on now. Don't. My God, do not. I have issues following it. But it's good. It really is good. It's like truly good shit that just makes you work your vocabulary and your, you know, not just, you know, Hulk smash. Forget I brought that up. Ooh. Lord of the Jungle #2. This is awesome. Dynamite is doing an awesome retelling of Tarzan, Lord of Greystroke, whatever the name is. And Dynamite usually does do that good, like they did with Last Phantom. But it kind of changed afterwards, so I'm kind of already have that whole wall up. Like after this first arc, it might be kind of shorted in. But I like it a lot. The art at some point, it's just good shit. Really, really good. So far, like I'm happy with my books. Even just a little bit. Voltron #3. How does Ramon feel about Voltron #3? It's good. It's weird. Growing up on the cartoon series, yes, I am that old. I remember the cartoon series. And the Lions, fuck the cars. No cars. No. I loved it. And now this weird aspects of it, like Zarkon was a human, and cheese. Yeah, okay, my cheese was late. Bite me. It's just, it's wow, but it's good, and the art's good, and I'm looking forward to it. It's interesting. /13. Now, Ramon, why did you pick this up? Because sometimes you want some of that B-movie horror slasher thing, and let's be real. /slash is more C. Yeah, probably more C. There's alien, there's monsters and all that stuff, and then there's fucking and gore usually, well, both. So that's that. It's a good book, but it's not a must-have. A couple of times it's on the chopping block, and I just they pick it up anyways. That's where it stands. Invincible '89. I shouldn't be reviewing this book because I love the series. That's my review of the book. I love the series, and it continues to get my love. Pick up the damn series. Darkness 100. Ooh, an Image title in the hundreds. Now, there's very few books that are in the hundreds. Witchblade, also from Top Cow. Spawn, which I'm thinking of picking up, which is in 200s. There's Savage Dragon, which is Steve's book, but Steve's, I care about Savage Dragon. I care about Steve. I don't. The Darkness, Jackie Estacado. He takes on the actual darkness itself, and it's whoa, it's good. It's nice. It's like 4 or 5 issues ending. So it started back in '96. Now it's kind of jump on friendly because it's restarting with everything that happened in Artifacts. So the whole Top Cow universe is kind of sort of revamped, a la DC, but yeah, really much like DC. Something's changed, something hasn't. But so far, so good. So far. Astonishing X-Men #47. This finishes this current story arc, which was interesting because of Emma Frost. That was a real interesting little twist, because Emma Frost is an interesting character. She's in denial that she's turning into a sweetheart, so she holds on to her bitchiness extra much. Cyclops is, of course, the man, like, Arthur Fonzarelli, but overall, it's the X-Men in the multiverse type of story. You know what I'm saying, or whatever you want to call it in the Marvel-verse. Would I recommend this series? No, not right now. Let's see what happens. Number 48. I'll let you know. I'm picking it up. New Avengers #22. Why does Osborn have powers? Somebody please explain that to me. Please. I don't want a lot. I just want an explanation. What is it? $2.99, $3.99 a pop? I deserve an explanation, damn it. I will go to Marvel offices and get an explanation. But you won't see me in the show for 5 to 10 years, depending on good behavior. Avengers #23. The Avengers, excuse me. This was actually pretty good. It was really good. I mean, Storm's here and she really takes front and center, kicking ass, taking names, all that fun shit. And It's all building up. Everything's building up to X-Men, Avengers crossover. Next week comes out Avengers Children's Crusade. That's supposedly supposed to lead into the X-Men Avengers crossover expansion. All the Avengers books. Sooner or later, Avengers is going to show up more in the X-Men books, I'm assuming, and that'll lead into that too. So we'll see what happens. Also, Bendis is going to be off of the book soon, and that's like big news. Like, a lot of people will be off the books. Real big switcheroo happening over at Marvel. Hickman's leaving Fantastic Four. That freaked me the hell out, because I love me some Fantastic Four these days. Never thought I'd say that shit out loud. Next we have Ultimate X-Men. I don't know. Ultimate Universe is, for me, a waste of time. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. The idea and the promise is there, but they've changed and fucked around with shit so much, and Magneto's alive, and So Forth's alive, and all this other stuff. I just stick to it, man. Stick to what you're doing. That's it. Next week comes out a few books, not too many. Okay, yeah, it is a few too many. I'm looking for Chaos Magic. Thor Deviant Saga finishes. Fear Itself, Fearless, number 10. That is a good damn series. Age of Apocalypse, number 1. Spawn 217. If I decide to pick it up, I might pick up a few issues back, because that's the middle of a story arc. So, and also DC starts the number 7s. So, see you next week, guys. Peace.
Hold on. Forgot me shot glass. Ran into a chum with a bottle of rum, and we wound up drinking all night. It's those changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes. Ooh. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another segment episode of the Basement Show. Sorry guys, that's completely my fault. I did not get as much stuff rearranged down here as I would have liked, and so yeah, you're stuck with just me and the rest of the boys separately. Sorry. That sucked. I'm gonna do it again.
So that's Ramon keeping it real. Don't expect too much of it.